Good evening, I'm Camelia, and this is KiniNews. To hold GE15 this year or not? That is the question. Those who don't want it this year have raised valid concerns, like the nation's economic recovery and the devastating year-end floods. However, according to one of the biggest proponents of early elections, Zahid Hamidi, the flood is a myth peddled by the opposition because they're worried about losing. Umno President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi has claimed that the floods are a narrative and myth spun by the opposition to avoid GE15 being held soon. Zahid said this is because Pakatan Harapan knows that the coalition has lost Malay support. Writing on Facebook today, Zahid said Harapan has no other way than to buy time to put off the election from being held. For the record, the BN chairperson had insisted on GE15 being called soon, but the opposition has voiced out against the idea. Meanwhile, Zahid claimed that the opposition had conducted a survey and found that the voters will not choose them if the election is held soon. He claimed that the survey found that Harapan will not garner even 15% of Malay votes if the polls are called soon. According to Zahid, this is because the Malays will vote for a revitalized UMNO. Muhyiddin's house has been the venue of many high-profile meetings in recent times, and it was no different yesterday. It's a meeting that's set to shape PN, or should I say, reshape the ever-evolving coalition.
Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin held an informal meeting with his past counterpart, Abdul Hadi Awang, last night. This is after the two parties disagreed on the contents of Muhyiddin's speech during Bersatu's 6th anniversary event on Saturday. According to Muhyiddin's Facebook post this morning, the meeting took place at his home. Muhyiddin said the discussion was meaningful and many matters were agreed upon to strengthen PN for GE15. The meeting would have taken place several hours after past Secretary General Taqiyuddin Hassan issued a statement criticizing Muhyiddin's speech. The speech on Saturday saw Muhyiddin claiming that PN had collectively declared BN as its main enemy for the next general election. According to Taqiyuddin, it was unwise and awkward to label a partner in a unity government as the main enemy. Bersatu and PAS have adopted opposing approaches. While the former wants to replace UMNO, the latter seeks cooperation with UMNO. Yet Bersatu and PAS are currently in the same coalition.
Following the meeting with Hadi, Muhyiddin's expectations of PAS appear high. But is he expecting too much?
PAS reaffirmed its commitment to Pakatan Nasional during a meeting between top leaders from both sides last night. This was revealed by Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin today. The meeting at Muhyiddin's home was also attended by PAS President Abdul Hadi Awang. Speaking to reporters in Putrajaya today, Muhyiddin said that he has been given the impression that soon PAS will decide on the party's direction in PN and whether they will pursue anything with UMNO. He added that they will make a decision and perhaps state a cut-off date after which they will have nothing to do with UMNO. Top leaders from PAS and Bersatu met last night amidst PAS's apparent unhappiness with Muhyiddin describing BN as PN's main enemy. This was uttered by Muhyiddin during his speech at Bersatu's 6th anniversary event on Saturday. Meanwhile, Muhyiddin said he and Hadi were transparent about their meetings with political leaders from other parties. For instance, Muhyiddin said he was briefed on Hadi's recent meeting with UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi.
Hishamuddin Hussain has been a politician for many years, and this is why even when he is listed number 1 on Guan Engs' list of failed ministers, the UMNO leader is taking it as a compliment. Lim Guan Engs recently listed 10 failed ministers, and Defense Minister Hishamuddin Hussain topped the list. Responding to it today, Hishamuddin said unflattering labels are a norm in politics. Reading between the lines, Hishamuddin said when opponents assigned such labels, it carried the opposite meaning.
Kerana dalam politik, bila orang keluarkan kenyataan macam itu, maknanya dia bimbang apa yang kita dah lakukan. Orang yang tak indahkan kita, maknanya kita tak buat kerja. Dan saya nak beritahu kepada Guan Engs, cakaplah lebih. Kerana saya tahu sampai kiamat pun, dia tak akan kata bahawa saya menteri yang dah berjaya.
Lim had bestowed the title on Hishamuddin due to the littoral combat ship scandal. This is because the defense minister had overseen the purchase of ships worth 9 billion ringgit. Other ministers on the list included Islamic Affairs Minister Idris Ahmad, Energy and Natural Resources Minister Taqiyuddin Hassan, and Environment and Water Minister Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man. In a separate development, Hishamuddin told reporters this afternoon that all 5 armed forces hospitals nationwide will be upgraded. Other medical facilities for the armed forces are also expected to be upgraded. Zahid Hamidi was acquitted of all charges in the VLN case last week. However, the prosecution has filed an appeal.
The prosecution has filed an appeal against the decision of the High Court in acquitting former Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi of graft charges in relation to the Foreign Visa System or VLN. Bernama quoted Attorney General Idrus Harun as confirming the matter. He told Bernama that the prosecution had filed an appeal on the case yesterday afternoon. Zahid was acquitted of all charges in the VLN case on September 23rd. Shah Alam High Court Judge Muhammad Yazid Mustafa had ruled that the prosecution had failed to prove a prima facie case and its 3 key witnesses were unreliable. The witnesses were former Ultra Kirana Sendirian Berhad Administrative Manager David Tan, former UKSB directors Harry Lee and Wan Quris Shah Wan Abdul Ghani. The judge drew the conclusion after he found the prosecution failed to prove the foremost important element in all charges levelled against Zahid, including the receipt of corrupt monies. He said that no other authority, external or internal auditor, knew about the alleged graft monies given to Zahid. Zahid was charged with 33 counts of receiving bribes from UKSB amounting 13.56 million Singapore dollars between 2014 and 2017. Another 7 charges accuse Zahid of obtaining more cash from the same company.
DAP and PSM have taken issue with a statement made by Bersatu's Wan Saiful that the opposition parties are incompatible with Malaysia.
DAP's P. Ramasamy and PSM's S. Arutchelvan have come out to slam Bersatu's Wan Saiful Wan Jan. This is after he said Pakatan Harapan comprised leftist parties based on socialism and was thus incompatible with Malaysia's development. Speaking to Malaysia Kini, Ramasamy said Bersatu, an offshoot of the racist UMNO, now wants to claim itself as a centrist party with religious credentials, whereas even UMNO would want to call Bersatu a bunch of traitors. He added that Bersatu is an opportunist party that will sell to the highest bidder. He also said DAP is based on the idea of democratic socialism but is definitely opposed to revolutionary socialism. Wan Saiful had told a Lembah Pantai Bersatu briefing on Saturday that leftist characteristics are clearly exhibited by DAP and PKR. Arutchelvan was equally unimpressed with Wan Saiful's analysis, saying the Bersatu leader was using Cold War rhetoric and Trump-like rhetoric. He added that it is just Cold War rhetoric repeated by former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and past leaders in recent times to defame those who defend public-centric ideas.
Nik Abduh got help from state agencies during his children's wedding. However, according to a Kelantan government official, he did not abuse his power.
Past lawmaker Nik Muhammad Abduh Nik Abdul Aziz did not commit any abuse of power. This is according to Kelantan State Exco member Dr. Izzani Hussein. He said this in relation to the past lawmaker requesting the Kota Baru City Council for services during his children's double wedding on Saturday. Izzani, who is in charge of the State Housing, Local Government and Health Committee, told Malaysia Kini that the request made by Nik Abduh was a normal application. He said anyone can make such a request and there will be fees charged if the equipment is available. However, Izzani said he believed that Nik Abduh's application was not approved by MPKB. He said Nik Abduh was using a privately owned canopy, the type that MPKB does not have. Izzani added that anyone can apply, but it is up to MPKB whether to approve an application or not. Earlier it was reported that Nik Abduh confirmed receiving assistance from the local council and other state agencies in the double wedding of his son and daughter in Kampung Pulau Melaka, Kota Baru. This came after a letter from the PAS MP to MPKB requesting assistance had gone viral on social media. Among others, he had asked the council's help to provide waste management services, tables, chairs and flower decorations for the double wedding. When Malaysia Kini reached out to MPKB yesterday, they confirmed that they received Nik Abduh's written request but did not confirm if they complied.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.